Hey guys, so in today's video, we're gonna talk about the eight conjugative functions. Think of this as a sort of pseudo or part two of my video about MBTIs or Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. Um, so there's like the second part. This is like tied to that. Um, If you liked Lisa Faye, remember to subscribe and hit that like button. Alright, so before we get into the A specifics, we're going to talk about the order in the stack. So starting with the dominant function, you have it's kind of like the core ego. It's like the main thing controlling everything. It's like the most natural and it's like the favorite. Then you have the auxiliary, which is like the mother or father, and kind of like helps balance and helps us kind of helps support it, I guess. Tertiary is kind of like the child. It kind of help us like be relaxed or calm due to like from using our dominant and auxiliary so much. Then our inferior is the last one for our main ego, is the weakest, suppressed function in our egos and consciousness. And like we can tend to hide ourselves when it comes to using this function. But that's just the top four, or kind of the left side of there. Just on the right side, we have what is called our shadow. So you have each shadow function as like the shadow version of the one directly across from it. So the shadow version of our dominant is our opposing. And it kind of our nemesis, it kind of tells us our doubts and paranoia, it kind of acts in the opposite direction. Um, so then you got for our auxiliary dart critical function. And down like how the I kind of like the critical parent. It's not like the critical parent, it's more kind of like the one that we might use to maybe point out other people's flaws or might even criticize ourselves about certain things. And then right across from the tertiary, think of the tertiary as maybe like the more shy sibling, or it's the one we feel more comfortable with. The shy function is kind of sly, malicious, deceptive, manipulating, and snare people into our traps. Also might be one that we don't necessarily feel comfortable with. Kind of like. And finally we have our FI. Now FI, like our inferior, is kind of like the lowest of the low. But our inferior function is still kind of in our ego. It's still something we might like subconsciously use, but we just prefer to hide. Whereas the demon is our least developed, and like it's those strains that we can sometimes like stop relaying to it. We might even demonize other types that use that one as like their main function. So first we're going to be talking about the TI. Now, the TI is the dominant function of INTPs and ISTPs. Um, Pretty much they the TI is pretty much kind of logic. Um, they use knowledge and patterns, and they like to use an internal framework. They use like educational trial and error. They logically interlinked everything, and they kind of like rational troubleshooting. Um, and that's about it. Next, we have TE. TE is the dominant function of ENTJ and ESTJ, or INTP and ISTP's shadow types. You see what's happening here. I'm sure you'll kind of figure out the dots on your own, but whatever. Um, so this allows them to efficiency is kind of what it's kind of simplified as, and it's analytical reasoning and it's more like objective. That has a supremacy of internal system, knowledge, and order, and they more are in tune with kind of facts rather than fleeting emotions, and they don't really like silly chit chats. It's like it's kind of like the INTP, but more like energetic, more like out there, I guess. So now we're getting on to FI. Now FI is the gift of feeling. It navigates through our deepest corners of our thoughts and emotions. It kind of like deal with the dominant function, the INFPs and ISFPs. I don't think I specified that. Um, kind of are like they're really people that are really driven by like their values when it comes to their dominant function. And they kind of seek the in-depth meaning of life. It allows them to kind of stay in the line of boundaries and identity amidst external pressures. So yeah. So next we have FE, which is the cognitive functions, like the dominant function, I guess, of ENFJs and ESFJs. So not just like how TE is more down like the outgoing, more like external, more down like ex I don't know, like external version of the TI. This time more of the external, more like energy focused version of F5. Did I say? I think I said correct. TIFI. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, something off topic. I don't think you guys care. Um, and that mostly comes into play whereas whereas FI are more driven by their personal values, FE might like care more about like what are other people's emotions about things. Like they're really empathetic, and kind of like it also helps them be like they're advocate for their greater good, and they kind of like their strong sense of integrity and ethics. They might like tune into morals and cultural values other than personal values. They also like to maintain. Next up, we have NIs, and they're the dominant function of INFJs and INTJs. Um, Very much, they're very forward thinkers that intuitively knows without trying. Um, and they're able to like experience the excitement of Eureka moments through our unconscious processing. Um, they can also follow like abstract patterns, and they're able to like see what beyond like meets the eye. Now on to NE or extrovert intuition. I probably should have specified that. Um, so like the E and the I mean extroverted or introverted, and the so T equals thinking, introverted thinking, extroverted thinking. Then you got FI, FE, introverted feeling, extroverted feeling. Then you got NI, NE, introvert intuition, extrovert intuition. The next will become SI, SC, introvert sensing, and extrovert sensing. Now on to NE. So NE is the dominant function of ENFPs and ENTPs. And this allows us to kind of use our imagination. It's like the more outgoing, more energetic one, Very energetic. Um, And power our life vision instead of free from like limiting beliefs and build up boundaries. They use like patterns, trends to connect with tangible reality, and like they might be like absent or absence rather than specific details. They don't like specific details, you know, like they rather not have specific details. They might just be like, just use my like imagination, you know? So next up we have SI or intraferret sensing, which is the dominant function of ISFJs and um, ISTJs. And the best way to describe this is they're kind of more focused on the details. And that's usually from like wisdom, living the present. They might also recall and revisit like memories. Like they're like the more like memory types. Um, and it's like constantly storing sensory data to balance our current views and opinions. And it teaches us to dread proven facts and life experiences rather than like mere instincts, you know? So next we have extrovert sensing or SE. And then just like, you know, all the other introvert, extrovert version of the thinking, feeling, and intuition, this one is more of the energetic version of SI. And so they're kind of more the senses, tangible reality, and this typical and like default background. And they kind of experience the world through like sensory experiences, enchanting their sight, sound, smell, and bodily movement. So the way I like to do it is like they're more focused on the, whereas SI is more of the let's think about all the detail. SE is more kind of like let's just go out there and have fun. Let's not try to look at patterns. Let's not try to think rationally. Let's not try to use our like let's not like hinder our emotions. Obviously, every MTI does that. Like obviously SEs when you consider their auxiliary functions and their other functions obviously they do that, but in like the dominant way their brain works and what comes natural to them is down just having fun, you know? Also their ESTPs and ESFPs. Also, do you guys feel like I've been saying a lot in this video? Like, like see I just say it, it's like it's just one of those things I say and like everyone has them, right? I think you know what I'm talking about, Stop freaking darn it. Well, goodbye.